Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome back to Hightop Sports. This show is, of course, brought to you by BetUS. And yes, this is being shot at a different time. We missed our show yesterday. The first one in a very long time, our Champs Corner on Monday. We've got this massive hurricane coming, as most of you are fully aware of. And so there's a lot of preparation, things going on, kind of just thoughts on what to do, how to handle this, things like that. Fortunately, I'm not in that severe of an area, but we're still taking precautions on whether or not we're going to move and things like that. Stephen Harris was doing some preparation, getting his son, because we had a lot of things. We were busy yesterday. I said, look, this isn't a priority right now. We'll figure it out. Figured I wanted to come and shoot. And again, a lot of people are being affected by this and probably won't even care to watch this, and totally understand that completely. But there are people that are not in this, located in Florida that still wanted to watch. So I had an opportunity to shoot this morning. Wanted to go over a few things. Again, we had Napier's presser yesterday where he talked about the offensive woes in the second half. Felt like he handled himself very well when talking about that. And then also talking about just what's coming up in Tennessee. And then he asked a question about, Edgar asked a question about the landscape of college football because there's one team left in the SEC undefeated, and that's Texas. And his thoughts on that, which I thought were very interesting. But again, the big one was UCF. He even said a very complimentary football in the first half, looked very good, but he even acknowledged, he brought it up in his opening statement, which in prior to this, and I want to go back to that Tennessee game, I felt like he didn't acknowledge it. He kind of said, hey, we could have maybe put our foot to the metal a little bit more, but tried to kind of defend that, like, hey, it was part of the plan. Where the last few weeks going into the bye, throughout the bye, this week, have been very self-reflective from Billy, saying, hey, we got to do better. And he's always said that, but it's always felt like in a defense mode. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to protect something, where he was like, yeah, we sucked. We were offensively, we were trash. They even asked him like, hey, was it because their defense, what they threw at you? And here's the stats here, which we brought up on earlier this week. He goes, was it their defense? He goes, no. We shot ourselves in the foot completely, which was nice because typically Billy would say, yeah, they definitely turned some things around and tried some new things and had us guessing, like, to give credit to the other team. And Mike Tomlin, I love that guy. That guy is so fun to watch. And the other night when they played off against Dallas, he goes, look, no disrespect to Dallas, but we're kicking our butt right now. So we need to quit kicking our butt so we can focus on kicking their ass. And that's kind of what Billy in his way, wasn't as Tomlin-esque at all, but like, hey, we beat ourselves, and we did. We had a holding penalty, a sack. He goes, those are unacceptable. We never were able to really get into a rhythm offensively in the second half, which, again, what cause, reasons, effect, how do you overcome those things? And look, those were, in my opinion, those were player issues. We get a false start from Najee Harris, a holding call. We take an unnecessary sack, throw that away. Again, I'm thinking like, hey, you're Graham Mertz, you're the senior here. He refers to him as the PhD later on in the press conference. Like, get rid of the ball, right? What are we doing here? You do completely stunted this offense, and we get frustrated because Billy at 3rd and 15 is going to just hand it off and check it down. Look, as much as we want to hate on it, that's kind of their rhythm. They're not going to allow for big plays to go against them. That's always kind of been Billy's status quo, which can be very frustrating to watch, but it is definitely kind of his rhythm. Now, did Rocket Money find you any subscriptions you forgot about or you paid for twice and didn't realize it? Can you name every single subscription you have? I know I can't name all of mine, and I'm not alone. I just learned that over 74% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about. With Rocket Money, I don't have to remember every subscription or worry about forgetting any because I can see them all laid out right in front of me. Look, Rocket Money is fantastic. When you connect all of your accounts, what I enjoy about it is you connect all of your accounts, all of your cards, your bank accounts, etc. It's like, in my eyes, for me, like a little personal accountant. You get a little dashboard, shows you what's coming in and what's going out. And I think money, being educated on your finances, that what is coming in and what is going out is huge, and it allows for you to excel. This is why we were excited to team up with Rocket Money. I think financial education is very important. And unfortunately, it's not taught in schools. I was fortunate enough to have a mom that was very persistent on me learning these things. So I was, able to learn those and handle that. But that is my favorite part. Even with the subscription thing, I think just being able to have like your own personal accountant is what it feels like. It's fantastic when it comes with Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on the things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. That's rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. Now, I do want to go over, a couple of things that are interesting because I made the comment of like, hey, he gave me a back rub last night in the sense of Billy, where it's like, look, like we're cool, we're cordial. It's like, hey, what if somebody said, what happens if he wins Tennessee? Are you sleeping in bed with him now? Are you back in the bedroom? Again, for those of you that haven't been following along, I've referred to this as we've got a divorce. He cheated on me, so I've been disgusted with him. I thought about it. I go, great question. I go, if he goes and beats Tennessee, we're going out for a dinner. Okay? I'll go out for dinner. It's nice. There will be cordial. We'll have wine. We'll chat. It'll be like we're dating again. We got to start over. I'm not going to just dive right back into bed with you. You know what I mean? You beat Georgia. Hey! You know what I'm saying? We get nasty, you know? But that's far down the road because Tennessee is going to be a hell of a task. I was looking it up before the show. UCF ranks currently 14th on run defense. I think they ranked higher before this past weekend. Tennessee ranks second in rush defense. They rank second in overall defense. It will be the best defense that we have played the entire year. We know offensively what they can do. I will say this Tennessee team was kind of similar to what we played last year, has the sexiness to explode on offense. Young quarterback in Nico. Can we get to him? Obviously, we'll have a full show on that and break that down on Wednesday. We should be good to go on Wednesday. This hurricane isn't going to be getting here till Thursday. So we will be live. I thought we may have to miss the show, but we will be live. Now, speaking of, this show is, of course, brought to you by BetUS. Going into this game, I believe right now the spread's 10.5. That Tennessee is favored going, obviously, at Tennessee. When you go to BetUS.com and use the code YouTube150, you get back 150% on your first 2 deposits and $125 on your third when you use the code YouTube150 up to $2,000. This line, like the UCF line, I don't think it'll move as much. It may go down to 7. Maybe Florida gets a little bit of love here. Florida is having to make some adjustments. I believe they'll be leaving Wednesday. That was the original call to get ahead of this storm. But given what the storm is doing, they may now leave Thursday. I don't know. I would like for them to leave early. Colorado had to do that for UCF for the Hurricane Helene. They flew in Wednesday to not get disrupted. I kind of like the earliness of getting to wherever your destination is sooner. I remember when we flew to Utah last year, we talked about getting there early. Then there was a delay. We had to have a layover. Like those things disrupt the pattern. They disrupt the flow. And so when you can get somewhere early, you can somewhat develop a little bit of a rhythm. And if you have an opportunity to get out early, I would like for them to get out early so you don't risk anything of having to adjust your plans, which could throw off just, again, that mindset. And you got a big game, 7:45 or 7 p.m. kickoff, I believe, another late night. Kentucky's a late night one, too. So, boys, buckle in. It's going to be a late couple of weekends here with the boys. So, we should have fun with it, though. But I did want to talk about that. And then lastly here, they asked him about the AP poll. Because look at it here. You've got 3 Big Ten teams lined up, 2, 3, 4. And then SEC's kind of getting spread out a little bit there, which we talked about, beating each other up. You got Texas number 1, Georgia at 5, Bama at 7, Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU, Oklahoma, Mizzou still up there. And he asked, like, what are your thoughts? Like, why do you think this has happened? And I kind of asked this question too, man. Like, what is going on? And he goes, look, I think the portal allows for you to address things that you couldn't address before. You can go and fill holes and gaps and whatnot. And even our guy, Cowboy Ty, said this after our show. And Billy kind of alluded to this too. The gap between 3 and 5 stars is I think tightening up a little bit. The development early on in high school is getting much better. Everyone has their own coaches, these Elite 11s. Just the quality has improved. So what that tells me is like, look, it's a very thin margin, right? You can recruit your ass off, but you also got to coach. I mean, it's getting to where it's fun. It's getting closer and very more similar to what the NFL brings, where any given Sunday, somebody can take you down. It's like, who's clicking on that day? When before, again, college football has that same argument. You can always have the crazy upsets, but I think these crazy upsets and these overturns are going to be more likely to happen. And there's also been talks about a super league in the works as well. We're going to make a separate video on that because that does seem interesting to see how that will be playing out. Now, we will give, of course, tomorrow, our Wednesday show, we'll have more of a breakdown for this Tennessee game. What are going to be the keys to success for Florida? We talked about it last week with UCF, and they seem to address those things, which was very, very good to see. That everything that we talked about, that I talked about on the show, that I was concerned about, because we'll say these things, we'll address them, and then Billy and the guys, they just, F it, we don't do it. I'm going to go and watch the film on both these teams and say, hey, here's how I feel like we address these teams, how we can control this. Arkansas gave you the blueprint. Like we're in a really great place where back-to-back weeks now, we're heading into a team that just got beat in a good game and gave us a blueprint of how to beat the team that we're going to go play. So the one big advantage we don't have is we're headed on the road, right? And I've talked about it, I think it was on the Sunday show, is momentum and on the road are two things that are Billy's kryptonite. And we've got to be able to capitalize on the momentum 2 in a row here. Finding rhythms on both sides of the football offensively for Mississippi State was definitely clicking. It clicked going into the first half. Again, it had some woes in the second half, and then defensively had some struggles. Got addressed over the bye week. Heading into that UCF game, handled the mobile quarterback, dealing with another mobile quarterback as well. Maybe they've kind of found some things of, hey, here's these guys fit well better here. Armstrong seemed to be calling the plays. I know Gator Football Nation podcast, he broke that down. He goes, is Armstrong back? There were things that we loved about Armstrong last year. His ability to be more aggressive, his ability to call in the blitz at the right times. That also bit us in the butt because sometimes we would allow for bigger plays, and that's where we were hoping Armstrong would come in. It almost seems like we had the pendulum swing this way with Armstrong, and then we had Ron Roberts come back in and swing it back this way. Maybe this bye week we found a little bit of a nice little balance between the two. I think both of them, that was my whole idea when they first rolled out, was there'd be a nice cohesive balance between Ron Roberts and Arson Armstrong. That didn't seem to be the case the first couple of weeks. There may be finding that now. We're going to find out a lot this coming Saturday. This could really set the tone for the rest of the year for everybody, right? For all of the SEC, but most importantly, Napier, and how many more dates are we going to go on, and where's that going to lie? So be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the show as usual. Of course, this show is brought to you by BetUS, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.